On today's show, it's that time of year. It's time for the annual Minnesota Bound Crappie Contest on Lake Minnetonka. Come one, come all, the crappies are biting.
See?
Next up, it's 4 generations of crappie fishing. Meet the Fisher family you'll be competing against in this year's crappie contest.
Woo!
We're going to take it to the pan.
And later, daughter Laura is wild in the kitchen prepping the ideal paprika panfish recipe, and just in time for crappies. Yes, they like to hide in the spring, the wonderfully delicious Morel mushroom. Need help finding them? Laura Shera has you covered. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show, and we have an exciting topic to kick off this program. It's about catching fish, crappies, the fish for kids of any age, which also means our Minnesota Bound Crappie Contest is on deck. Fishing fun, Minnesota Bound style. Crappies, the fish for kids of any age.
See? See? Yeah.
How old is this participant?
20 months.
20 months.
Yep.
Wow. And any size crappie may be worth prizes or more at the 50th Annual Minnesota Bound Crappie Fishing Contest, set for May 5th on Lake Minnetonka, headquarters at the docks of Lord Fletcher's. Did we mention fishing fun?
Oh, great.
How you doing, bud?
Good.
Did you catch a lot of fish?
This had to work.
You got just the one. That's all you need for this contest, buddy. Good luck to you.
And did we mention great prizes? A crappie of any size can be a winner and hit the mystery weight, and the prize is a new Alumacraft boat, Evinrude motor, and trailer. And now, a few highlights from last year's contest.
This is a great event, has been for 49 years this thing has been going on. It's a family event, crappies are biting. Everybody can scratch their fishing itch before next weekend's big walleye opener.
That's the biggest, you did it for us, right?
You gonna take that one home and eat it?
Yeah.
Are you? Okay, good. What's that one? What's that one weigh?
0.87.
0.87, that's a dandy fish, bud. You might be in the running for the youth, huh?
On the Minnesota Bound Crappie stage, you'll get to meet some folks you might already know.
There you go, hold them up. Look at the size of those crappies. Good job.
Prizes for the largest crappies are awarded in 2 categories, kids and big kids.
From Excelsior, 15 years old, with a 1.07 pound crappie. The rest of you adults should be ashamed of yourself. Josh Hayden, $200 from Mills Fleet Farm. What are you going to do with that?
Maybe buy another fishing pole.
And know this, spring crappies are fairly easy to catch. Get the picture? The Minnesota Bound Crappie Contest is all about fishing, family, and fun. Entry fee is $5. Proceeds from the contest go to the Fishing for Life charity organization. Now don't forget, you're invited May 5th, Lord Fletcher's, Lake Minnetonka. Bring your luck and your fishing face. When we return, meet the Diotas family. You'll see them at this year's crappie contest. They take crappie fishing very seriously.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers. Alumacraft. Radco Truck Accessories. And by Connecticut. Alumacraft presents Kids in the Outdoors.
Welcome back. You know, we all know that family traditions are great, which brings us to the story about the Diotis family. Their tradition is fishing the Minnesota-bound crappie fishing contest for 4 generations. Most families have traditions. If you're the Diotis family, the tradition is crappie fishing at the Minnesota-bound crappie contest on Lake Minnetonka.
Going out to Ron Sheriff's crappie contest, oh yeah.
My fishing rod is cool.
And nobody keeps traditions like the Diotis family. Get this. This is the 50th year of the contest, and this is their 50th year of participating. Everyone a memory.
My role today is I captain the boat, get them out to the fishing spots where they want to go, make sure we got fuel and food and pop and water, all that good stuff.
Can I have Pepsi?
I am the great-grandma. I have my son Johnny and his wife Cher. I have my grandson John Daniel and the 4 great-grandkids. So there's 4 generations on the boat.
Yes, fishing is about family, time on the water,
Oh!
but also
Nibble!
catching.
No! Oh,
Oh, you got a monster. You got a monster on there.
That's the best part of the day, seeing all the grandkids catching fish. I mean, that's really what it's about when we go out.
Oh, yeah.
They're fun catching with the little kids because they can usually do pretty good getting them, and that's usually it's me and my mom or grandma just kind of taking them off the hook and getting all the worms for them and everything that way. So it's kind of fun that way, gets them all going, keeps them entertained.
fish!
As you might guess, when kids go fishing, there's never a dull moment on the water.
A couple of years ago when we were all out on the boat, Levi was casting his rod out and it went in the lake and he lost his rod. So that was pretty sad. And Ron asked him, do you like fishing? And he said, no, I don't like fishing. Fish on, fish on. Woo!
I got 2 little daughters, Paisley Rose and Chloe May, and they absolutely love fishing. And out at the crappie contest, we go fishing with my grandpa. They'll be sitting here at the front of the boat. And when they catch fish, Paisley, my oldest, she just gets super excited. So she'll run all the way in the back. She gives Grandpa and Great-Grandpa a high five and says she's the best fisherwoman that's ever lived. And she just gets so excited. It's just awesome.
Now, is there a Diotis family secret to catching crappies?
Putting a worm on the hook.
His secret is paying attention to what the great-grandpa tells them. They always outfish the old-timer. They won't give me a break. They don't cut me any slack.
I got the biggest! I got the biggest! Can I have $1?
When the fishing is done, this family is not only competing in the Minnesota-bound crappie contest, but they compete in their own family contest as well.
I caught the longest fish. Yeah, it's green and it's kind of seaweed.
Who won that year?
Me.
Because you had the most fish, huh?
I caught 14 fish.
And who will win this year's Minnesota-bound crappie contest? Well, you never know. But you could say the Diotis family is already a winner.
We are going to season the fish with some salt just on both sides.
Coming up, it's time to go wild in the kitchen. In the spirit of crappies, Laura has found a quick and easy recipe for your favorite panfish.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Minnesota Rebat.
Time now to go wild in the kitchen, and in the spirit of the crappie fishing contest, we have a recipe for delicious crappie.
It's
It's panfish season and Wild in the Kitchen today, and I'm here with Chef Kevin Convalson from Firelight Grill House and Cocktail Bar. And Chef Kevin, I brought in some of my dad's fresh crappies.
Yeah.
There's nothing better.
Yeah, little guys.
Are they little? Well, we won't tell them. We won't tell them.
So,
what are we making today?
We're gonna do paprika crusted crappies with a little chorizo, white wine, butter, and lemon.
Perfect.
Super simple.
So what do we do to get started here?
We are gonna season the fish with some salt just on both sides. And we're using a kosher salt as well on these guys.
Liberally, I'm noticing.
Mm-hmm. So if you can sprinkle just a little paprika onto the plate. So next we're just gonna get a little paprika on each, just on one side. We're gonna do the flesh side.
Well, the crappies may be small, but he definitely cut a lot of them, so we're in luck there.
Yeah.
We won't go hungry. Why just one side?
Question. Just cause.
Because he's the boss of the kitchen,
Yeah,
and whatever the boss says,
I'm the boss.
it goes.
No, actually, I just thought it might be a little bit too much.
Too much paprika?
Too much paprika. We're ready to fry these bad boys.
All right.
So we're gonna take it to the pan. So I'm gonna put a little oil in this pan. All right, so we can put it paprika side down.
Paprika side down and away from you, correct?
Mm-hmm. You don't want to splash yourself. We're gonna cook these on the paprika side for about a minute. You can kind of see where it gets a little white on the edges, and that lets us know, it's about halfway. Then we're gonna cook the other side for about another minute.
They look beautiful.
All right, Laura, so now our fish are cooked, and we're gonna make our sauce. This is the fun part.
And the best part is that we're using wine.
And some chorizo.
Yes.
So we're gonna add that to the pan.
Okay. And this is a Spanish smoky sausage, right? You can just buy this in the grocery store?
Yep. Yeah, and this
So
is
good.
already cooked off, so we don't want to be using any raw pork here. Give me about maybe a cup.
Now, I usually have a heavy pour here, so we'll
That's
see.
fine.
Is that good?
Yeah,
A little bit more? All right. I like your style.
So we're just gonna let that kind of cook down, and you can scrape up any of the fish bits as well. That's gonna help flavor the sauce. And then we're gonna cook that down to a scant 2 tablespoons. And we're just gonna add a little bit of butter. And I would say for this, that's about 3 tablespoons of butter.
Fresh parsley you're using?
Yep, fresh chopped. Perfect.
Good. Look at that. So good.
We're just gonna kind of spoon it over the top. If you want to cut a lemon,
Sure can.
and then just squeeze a little bit on there.
This looks amazing. I love paprika and wine and butter and crappies. That is very good. First of all, thanks, Dad, for having an amazing harvest catching all these crappies. And if you're looking for a new idea for shore lunch, this is definitely it. Thank you. Very good. Cheers.
Cheers.
We say it all the time, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. Well, I'm finally learning what that truly means. I have 2 really young kids that I'm trying to get into fishing, and the first thing I noticed when I went to buy them a reel is that pretty cheaply made. So here's a couple things to consider. 1, when you pick up a reel, press the button and make sure that when you close the bail, it actually engages the line. Second thing is the line is a lot of times really old. So when I got home, I replaced it with fresh line. That way, when my kids go to cast, they don't have twirls or knots in the line. I just want them to have a good experience. Having good line and a good working reel gives them a better chance to catch that fish.
This is a classic Morel. This is the yellow form.
Next up, they can be hard to find, but so worth the hunt. Morel mushrooms, yes.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture, Running Aces Casino and Racetrack, Bent Creek Golf Club Eden Prairie, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Hey anglers, it's time for the annual Minnesota Bound Crappie Contest, Saturday, May 19th on Lake Minnetonka. Grand prize, an aluminum boat, trailer, and Evinrude outboard. You must enter to win. Details online at mnbound.com or at participating Mules Fleet Farm stores. Fish on!
Up next, now, if you've ever tasted morel mushrooms, you need no encouragement to go hunting for them. But if you have not tasted morel mushrooms,
Well, here's your 101 course on how to find them. Just don't go where I go.
It's a great day to look for morels. I think we're going to be able to find a couple.
Morel Mushrooms, a game of hide and seek with one delicious reward.
I really enjoy spending a day in the woods. It's about my favorite thing to do.
Today, landowner Scott Gage invites foraging expert Teresa Maroney to share her morel hunting knowledge.
There is a touch of Indiana Jones in it, yeah, that's kind of what it is. There's no bats flying at me usually because I do it during the day. Well, this sure looks like a good spot. A lot of dead elms and a lot of live elms too, which makes a difference. You kind of want a mix of dead, recently dead, and maybe still some living elms. That keeps the forest going for some time.
So Teresa, this is an area that I was thinking about that we'd start off in. Kind of had the characteristics that you were looking for of the dead elms, southern exposure, and then a little bit of a bowl. But you're the expert.
Well, I did write a book on it. Here, why don't you have a copy of that,
wow,
Scott?
thank you very much.
Yeah,
fantastic.
This is the first one that you're going to see in the season, and it's gray. They're finding that the grays and the yellows are just different phases of the same mushroom. Let's go check it out. All right. We've got some dead elms right here. See these trees here? By looking up, we can see that they're dead. They still have their bark, so they're recently dead.
Sometimes it seems like you find a mushroom at a tree, and other times you might find 15 mushrooms at a tree. There's one right here.
There, look at the size of that one. We got one, Scott. Oh, there's another one.
We found an area that we thought would be productive, an area I have not looked in before, and we've done really well.
That's one right there. There's one there. There's one there. There's one back there that I can see without even trying. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so a lot of people, when they're picking morels, they just grab it and twist it off at the ground level. What I do is I grab them and I cut them off at the base. I'm not disturbing the underground mycelium, which is the thread-like fungal roots that produce the mushrooms. And when you pull the mushroom out of the ground with a big cloud of dirt, you're disturbing the mycelium and you're taking some of it away. Beautiful.
There we go.
Isn't that a nice one? Now, Scott, you and I know what morels look like, but a lot of people don't. And this is a classic morel. This is the yellow form. It's got a smooth white stem, and the cap is honeycombed. But what you really want to do is cut it in half like this. And it has to be completely hollow inside. There are some things that aren't morels that confuse people, but they're not hollow inside. So anytime people are learning about morels, that's the first thing they have to learn, is to cut them in half. Anytime you pick a wild food, you have to be 110% sure that that's what it is. It's all wild mushrooms that you pick have to be cooked, and the morel is no exception. They do have to be cooked. I think part of it is the mystique. They're so hard to find. The season is usually very short.
Teresa's dead on when she says, you know, the bonus is finding the mushroom. It's just another way to enjoy nature and explore. It's a little bit like hide and seek with Mother Nature.
The big thing is never trespass. Don't assume that you can, just because a place looks unoccupied, you can go do it. You really have to check, but you can forage for mushrooms and berries legally in all of the Minnesota state parks.
Find a woods near you for a treasure hunt of your own.
All right, well that went pretty good, huh? Yep, you got it, and a couple of good ones too. All right, look at that. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. This was just great. This was just great.
Now, you know there's a rule about not telling anybody where you find morels, but there's no rule against sharing the morels, so I'll await your call. That about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors, take a morel mushroom hunting. I'm Ron Shera. The star of the show, I should have taught you to hunt morels, is Raven.
To
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.